friends, and welcome to Costuming in Color. This is a YouTube show dedicated to showcasing amazing costumers of color and those that support them. I'm Gigi, a history buff, historical costumer, and dabblist.
And I'm Noelle, a costumer who likes to play both sides of the historical and cosplay world. Today, we are interviewing Natalie from Time Traveling Native. Welcome to the show, Natalie.
Thank you.
We are so excited to have you.
But first, some house rules. The first rule of Costuming in Color is that you tell everyone about Costuming in Color.
Yes. This way, even if you don't have people of color in your local groups, you can get to know some in our global community.
The second rule is that kindness matters. Aside from that, there are no rules, so let's get into it. Our first question for Natalie is, where are you from and do you still live there?
I'm from northern Minnesota, a tiny Native American reservation, White Earth Reservation is what it's called. I lived there from when I was a child until I was 18. Then I moved to Fargo, North Dakota, and Fargo is where I became an adult and I went to college and I learned life lessons and stuff. So I feel like I'm from Fargo. My family feels like I'm from Fargo, but I was born and raised on the reservation. It's been years since I've been there, and now I'm in Buffalo, New York.
How many Fargo jokes do you have to deal with?
I knew it would come up.
This is like people singing me the Noelle song. I'm like, no, stop
When
it.
I moved to Buffalo, I walked to a coffee shop down the street and I was like, do you know, it was like a little town. Do you know where the library is and stuff? And they were nice. And they were like, where are you from? And I'm like, from Fargo. And you don't sound like it. Like, how am I going to have to deal with that forever? I have not seen that film though. So I don't know. I don't think I sound like it. I've seen clips of it and I don't.
No, you do not. What is your favorite thing about where you live?
Buffalo, New York. Two things. First is it's how much people love being from Buffalo. They absolutely love it. Like you walk in the grocery store and it's all Buffalo. Everything is literally Buffalo. Buffalo shirts in everything. It's my water. Everything is Buffalo. And I've never lived in a town where it's like, yeah, we're from Fargo. Let's sell everything Fargo. But the community here, and they're like, you've lived here 4 years. You're from Buffalo now. We love you. That's insane to me. And also number two, the location. Toronto is that way, New York City, DC. It's so easy to be part of the world, but have that small town feel. And all the Broadway shows come here too. So I love it.
Oh, that's great.
What is your Instagram handle and why did you choose it?
I first got on Instagram when I was a creeper and just looking at people's costumes and stuff. And I had like a very generic history, costuming and area code, whatever. And then after I started actually sewing myself, I changed it to Time Traveling Native because like literally in real life now, there are situations, college classes, my jobs. I'm 37 now where I'm always the only Native. So when I got into costuming, it was around the time a group of people had gone to like Venice or somewhere, Florence. I don't know. And I was like, I want a costume like that. Then I literally wouldn't have been there. So there's going to be some time travel involved for me to put myself in these situations because I'm Native American. So anything pre-1492, I literally would not have existed in that world. So that's how I came up with it. Like, I'm going to have to time travel to put myself in places that never would have happened.
What is the costuming scene like where you live?
I haven't met many costumers, but I do know they have Old Fort Niagara. It's north of Niagara Falls. It was built in the 1600s by the French. So they have something called the Old French Castle. And then it was, I don't know, occupied back and forth by the British and then the French and then eventually the United States. So they have all kinds of events, reenactments where they have like battle reenactments, the War of 1812. The French and Indian Wars is one of them, but they're huge events. And I haven't really gotten involved in that because I'm nervous about that stuff, but yeah. I've gone there during those events and they're amazing. They're really fun.
Cool.
Let me ask you, cosplay, historical, or both?
Historical.
What time period or place is your favorite?
Right now, I'm starting with the 18th century. I think it's because I have more help and the group of costumers that I found interested in the 18th century have been so amazing and so awesome. And they're really helpful. So I'm really comfortable here right now.
Oh, that's great. That's really
so eventually I think I want to do like tutor Elizabethan era just because my sister loves that and I want to bond with her and stuff. So I'll go there someday.
Costuming is a great way to bond with people because like you have to suffer through making the thing and then you get to wear the thing.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if you ever dipped your toe into the cosplay waters, what kind of character do you think you might want to embody? Do you have like a favorite one from anime or from the animation world or maybe the Marvel DC type comics?
Right now for cosplay, I haven't made anything for myself, but I do own 3 little gremlins. So they are like, I want to be a Pokemon and I want to be like all of the Harry Potter and stuff. So I have experience sewing like cosplay type costumes, but just on a smaller, tiny person scale. They don't really appreciate the hours that go into it, but I do. So stuff for them. So we've done like Pokemon characters and Harry Potter and stuff.
Do you think you would dress up like Harry Potter stuff with them to join the crowd?
We were thinking to maybe do like a Pokemon, but all the evolutions of them. So I have 3 kids. So if we can pick one and then start, like the little guy will be the first one and that stuff. So that we were thinking about that, but they haven't told me what they want to be, and they'll probably tell me a few weeks before Halloween, and then I'll be sewing all night.
That seems a standard issue, mom. Sewing. Yeah. How did you start in costuming?
And well, 2020 left all of us with so much time on our hands. And my sister would send me pictures of her hand sewing shifts and stuff for her daughter. And I'm like, oh, she's insane. Why would she do that? I don't know. And we would talk about it a lot. And she bought the tutor tailor and she was always sending me pictures. And I was like, I've always been interested in this and I have the time to do it now. And I hadn't had a sewing machine for so long, but I bought one right at the start of the pandemic to make masks for my dad. And I was like, well, I have that and I have time. So here we go.
Wow. You just started.
Yeah.
And you're already that good. Like
it's taking me a year and some months to get one look together though. So
no, that's fine. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. You're also like have a job and raising kids. Like never feel bad about how long costumes take you.
But you don't know like how therapeutic the boning channels are though. Just the straight little lines and you don't have to think about anyone else in the world. I love it.
Yeah. That's why I'm into corsets, because it is kind of therapeutic. You can just zone out and sew straight lines.
And you get to be miserable about something that's not going to hurt anybody. Like I have 58 eyelets to sew. This is horrible. But like it's not like real life stress, and it's not like all the stuff that's going on in the world. You just like zone down on these horrible things, but you get it done. So it is like free therapy.
Yeah.
Yes, those are sewist problems.
Yes.
What keeps you in the costuming community?
Other costumers, other women. Like I can't imagine not sewing anymore, because my mind would be like, oh, what event's going on, or what is she doing now, or what has he made? And like I it's just the other people, the support and stuff. And I feel like at this point I've made so many friends that if I just dropped off the face of the earth, people would check on me and be like, are you okay? And stuff. So I have found a nice, comforting, happy little group of people now that I don't ever want to not be friends with. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they would still love me without costumes, but costumes make it prettier.
They sure give you something to talk about, if nothing else. Yeah. What would you like to see improve in the costuming community?
Not so much the community itself. Well, there's a lot with the community. I was new here a year ago, so I didn't notice the drama. I'm not so new anymore. It's the people asking me about the drama. I don't want to talk about it. If I put something in my story, you're welcome to ask me about it. But if something is going on in Instagram and I haven't said anything, then I likely don't want to say anything, or I'm just leave me be. Like I'm fine. And then a big problem I have, and it's nothing to do with costumers or anything. I don't want to say this because I don't want to ruin it for myself, but Instagram itself. If you check my posts, I hashtag like costuming and historical costuming in 18th century and stuff. And that's fine. When I hashtag that stuff, it'll be like 80% of people who saw this or interacted were not following you and stuff. The moment I hashtag Native American or Native Pride or Indigenous, it'll be like 12 people saw this, 2% saw it who weren't following you. So if you go back and you look at my hashtags, you'll notice some of them don't say Native, or I don't self-identify. Those posts, the posts where I identify myself, they won't go anywhere. And I don't know. What do you say about that? Who do you talk to about that? It's disheartening because I feel like everyone else. I feel like I belong here, but when I self-identify, it'll be like 3% of people who saw this were not following you. So only the people that follow me are seeing the things I write as Native. And that's why is it such a problem to me? When I was young, I'm always used to being the only Native in the room. I grew up on the reservation. I moved away. I went to college, and it's always just me. At my job here in Buffalo, it's just me. And when I tag myself as Native, I'm making these beautiful costumes and these beautiful like skirts and gowns. I want other little Native girls to know they can sew themselves into the front of the story. They can turn themselves into princess. But I can't do that when I tag myself as Native. So frustrating. Like, who do I talk to? Get someone on the phone. I don't like this. It's a huge deal. It's not something, if you weren't Native, you wouldn't notice it because you're obviously not tagging Indigenous or Native pride or Native woman. You're not. Just we are. Like when the big glitch happened during the missing and murdered Indigenous Women's Day, where we were bringing awareness. Instagram took down all the stories related to that topic. It was a glitch. So, I mean, it's frustrating. I don't know what to do about it. And it's not the historical costuming community's problem, but it is something that we're aware of.
So everyone out there, you should go look up hashtag Native Pride, Native costuming, Native American costuming, and then follow that hashtag. Because if Instagram starts seeing people following that hashtag, they will start respecting that hashtag as something people want to see. So
that is a brilliant idea.
Go follow those hashtags, guys. Anything that you see Natalie ever hashtag, follow those hashtags, because those are the things that help people out to get more coverage. And this is not Native exclusive, guys. Like I see this with everyone. So
it's also an issue on TikTok. So if you guys are on TikTok, do this on all your platforms, and we'll have Natalie's links below to all of her social media. So make sure you actually follow her too, but also the hashtags. That's a great idea, Noelle.
Yeah,
that is a wonderful idea.
Also, Natalie, you can 100% start putting stuff in your stories about how this is happening and show data, and then tag Instagram and, tag me, and then I'll spread it, and then people will follow that, and we could possibly get it on their radar.
I was afraid to do that. Like, if I do this, is it going to get worse? And then the ones that then no one will see, and none of the other Native women will see, and they won't join me. So I'm really nervous about that, but I will definitely.
If you can just send me pictures and I'll post it. I don't have a problem posting it. Yeah. So okay. if you have data you want to send me, I will use it. You don't even have to have it on your account. Like I'll do it.
Okay. Definitely. I will.
As an aside, I've also heard the same thing about if you use Black in anything.
Mm-hmm.
And people have done those same type stories Noelle's talking about. Like this video, I didn't tag like Black TikTok or Black Instagram or Black costumer, and on this one I did, and look how like my my views are less, and it's like, come on, seriously.
I was like, they shouldn't have gave us the tools to know what's going on when you can look at all the data on it. Like it's so obvious on our end.
Yeah.
And like, what can you do about it except write them and say, hey, we'd like you to change this, but they don't have to. They know that we're going to use their platform no matter what, because it's all we can like talk to each other and post our things. So what is your favorite completed project?
The one I just completed. The one that took me a year and a few months. I like the pink stays that I did out of the pink Burnley and Trowbridge linen. That was my favorite up until I finished the whole thing. And the first time I put it on, and I whip stitched myself into it because I don't trust myself not to stab myself with pins and stuff. I almost cried. I was like, is that me? Did I do this? So it's my favorite, and it probably will be because it's my first, but I have to make a ball gown someday.
For April?
For April, hopefully April. I was relying on college me, the one that never did the work until a week before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm too old to rely on college Natalie. I'm way too old, but that's what was happening. And I was like, you used to do this. You can do this. And then when it got delayed, I was like with my 11 yards of taffeta, like spinning like, yes, we have time.
You should still pretend like it's happening in October, and that way it'll be done by April.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I'm going to panic in March now. No, I can do it. I'm going to start soon. I'm actually going to make new stays though. I was hesitant about fitting new gowns to the stays I have now because I really want the Augusta stays, so I have time for that now.
Yeah.
So what era is the ball gown going to be?
18th century. Italian gown, because I don't want anything to do with back pleating right now. I just don't. I'm scared of that right now. So the Italian gown, the bodice that's not attached to the pleats on the back.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the pictures.
I'm excited. I'm excited to meet real people that live in my phone. It's going to be fun.
It's weird to find out that people have legs.
Oh yeah.
Like when I saw Gigi for the first time like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, you have legs.
You have legs. My son saw one of his teachers at school and he's like, Miss Lori, you got out of the iPad. And he had no idea. For a whole year, he had no idea. She was just living in his iPad.
Yep. I call those people my pocket friends.
Your pocket. I have pocket friends.
Yeah. What is the silliest costuming thing that has ever happened to you?
Right now it was Saturday. I had to go out in public the first time in the entire costume, and I was embarrassed and shy. I was like, I can't. Do you know the size of the butt I'm wearing right now? It was embarrassing. And then we went out and I passed a wedding party, and one of the bridesmaids was like, oh girl, I love the junk in your trunk. It's a pad. It's a pad.
Those are pillows.
Yeah, those are two separate pillows. And she's like, really? What? So there I was like pulling up petticoats, like, yeah, look at. And my buns were molting. The feathers were sticking through some of them. And I was like, yeah, it's pillows. My Brazilian butt lift will come off at the end of this session.
It's much safer this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less toxic. No surgery. No recovery time.
Do you have a sentimental or nostalgic costuming memory to share?
I do get sentimental when I'm sewing at night. I'm Native American, so around the time when I was like 10, I wanted to participate in more Native American activities like dancing at powwows and stuff. We didn't have a sewing machine. I grew up on the reservation. We didn't have a lot of money and stuff, so we didn't have a sewing machine. I had to hand sew everything, and I did not want to. I hated it. I wanted to be one of the girls that had like a sewing machine and they could make these really intricate outfits with lots of colors and stuff. So there I was like hand sewing. I absolutely hated it. But now that I'm old and stuff, when I'm awake at night and everyone's in bed and I'm like hand sewing, like whip stitching things together, I miss the young me. And I didn't know how good I had it then, like how wonderful those memories would be, because my mom was sewing with me too. So now I'm like, oh, why didn't I appreciate that more? I was absolutely miserable then, but now that I'm old, I'm like, I should have appreciated it more, like passing projects back and forth to my mom, like, okay, I finished the skirt, so can you sew, like hem it in the morning and stuff. So I do get a little lonely at night when I'm hand sewing.
Oh, that's very sweet though. I have those memories with my grandma, so I understand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's cute. I didn't know I would appreciate it then, but I do now.
I was like, why is she making me do this?
I know. I don't want to do this. So when I started costuming, people would be like, did you hand sew? And I was like, I never will. Absolutely not. Spent my whole life waiting for a sewing machine. I'm never going to hand sew. And now I do.
Yeah. I don't love hand sewing, but the more I do it, the more I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You also get better at it.
Yeah.
That Amalia jacket though, that was like, you're going to hand sew this if you like it or not. So. Oh yeah.
Right now.
I was like learning what those prick stitches were. And I was like, I didn't sign up for this, but I did 2 of them so far.
I was like, I did not sign up for this. This is way more unexpected hand stitching than I had.
I do everything like so perfect. I have this idea that my sister is just like half an inch shorter than me with the same body. So she doesn't know it, but when she comes visit me, the wearable mock-ups that I make, those are going on her.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really sweet. That is a labor of love.
Yeah. So the jacket I made, the floral one, that's a mock-up, but it's really perfect. So she's going to be wearing that.
Oh, that's great. What costuming groups or orgs are you in?
Nothing yet because I'm shy.
Mhm.
I put everything on Instagram, but I'm shy in real life. And I'm also nervous because there around the time I joined Instagram and stuff, there was a lot of stories about like hand sewing or silk versus polyester and stuff. And when you're new to the community, that stuff is like, oh, I will cheat wherever I can. Long seams will always be done by machine. Lining will always be done by machine. The things that you can see on the outside will be hand stitched. And I have this like idea that someone's going to come check my inside seams and stuff. So I'm not there yet. I'm going to be brave someday. And then I will join things. But right now, we only have like the really super old historical events at Old Fort Niagara, and those look super accurate. So I don't want to walk in there with my machine M yet.
So there's a comedian, his name is Cedric the Entertainer, and he has a bit where he's like, Black people wish somebody would. And when you said that, all I could think was, I wish somebody would come and check my seams on the inside. And if that ever happens to you, you tell me who it was, because I wish somebody would check yours.
I will pull up my phone right now and say, you need to talk to Gigi.
You need to talk to Gigi. I'm sorry.
Let me at them too, because I'll put them on blast on my stories. Like, none of that, peeps. Like, no.
Yeah.
Appropriate.
When everyone was doing that, I was posting stories that were like, here's this thing that you all think is silk. Guess what? It's poly. This one here, nylon. Like,
yeah. Imagine being totally new to the community and that's going on. And I was like, I don't know what to do here.
There was a bunch of us telling people off, like saying, stop it with this historically accurate crap. First of all, nothing is historically accurate. We don't even have the same kind of materials they had. There's no way to be historically accurate. So cut it out.
Yeah,
also,
and
this poly looks exactly like silk.
Along those lines, what that did to me is I'm not historically accurate as a whole. My entire person is not historically accurate. So if you're not accepting someone's Joanne Poly, what are you going to do when I'm in the room?
Right.
So I was really, really like, I don't know if I want to join anything right now.
No, that's completely understandable.
Like, I don't know what people are going to think if they're doing the tutor era. And I show up and tutor stuff, like if there's people that are mad about silk and hems and stuff, I wasn't there either. So,
well, I can tell you that for every one of them, there's 10 of me who will be like, nah, come in and do tutor.
Now that I've been here a year, I've noticed that, and I feel better. But I did not feel good right away. I do feel better.
Those messages, when people send those messages, they think it's just, about the thing they're talking about, which in that instance was fabric. No, people of color are used to looking for the undercurrent, like what's written beneath this message. For our own safety, we have had to learn how to do that. So when you send these messages, you have to realize that we're going to read more into it. And we're going to think, okay, you would say that about the fabric, then what would you say about me being there? It goes very, very deep. So that may be a lesson for some people who never thought about that. I don't know if you know that about people of color, but that is true. We do not listen to what you're saying. We listen to the meaning behind what you're saying.
I did see more into that scenario than just poly versus silk. I'm not historically accurate. So,
but there are Irish people who do tutor as well, and they would not have been accepted at court because of the whole Catholic Protestant.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's not go there. Because if that was the case, there'd be very few people allowed to actually do historical enactment, right?
I can tell you that my messages about polyester were not about polyester.
And for anyone who's watching, these are the kinds of things that happen when you meet other people of color, people who have gone through the same things that you've gone through. They help you to not feel alone in it. Like Natalie was saying, she is used to being the only Native in school, maybe at work where she lives. I'm also used to being one of the only Black people, usually at school, at work, where I live, where I've traveled, the same. So it's even like when we say tell other people about this show so that we can all meet each other, like I'm meeting Natalie through this show and you're meeting Natalie by watching the show, but we really mean that we're trying to build a community. So follow her, interact with her, same with me. This is the whole point of having these conversations.
Yeah. And if you feel alone and you see me being extremely extroverted, please feel free to ping me and ask me if I can direct you to someone who is like you. And I absolutely will be able to do that for you.
So our next question is about cons or events. Do you have any that you plan on attending when everything opens up? Because like you said, you've only been playing since things have been shut down.
The event that was supposed to be in October, I bought tickets for the ball and the tea. I was really excited about that, but that's maybe in April now. And then hopefully Fort Niagara, they have a lot of the reenactment things here. I want to at least go there in costume.
I think that would be amazing. I can't wait to see those pictures. They're going to be beautiful. Who is your costuming crush?
I have, well, doesn't count and it's going to be a stretch, but I'm going to say it anyway. Ed Sheeran was in costume in his Bad Habits video. So he was a vampire. That counts.
Yes, that counts.
But really the guy in Venice, Francesco, the silks he uses in the videos he does, like when he turns eye contact with the camera, I die. I can't survive when he does though. For cosplay, DJ Croft.
Oh yeah.
I was telling my friend about costuming and cosplay, and I was like, I really love this guy. He was Indiana Jones, and I opened his page and handed it to her, and she's like, what? He was in briefs on he just posted one where he was like in little underwear, and I was like, no, he was just Indiana Jones, I swear. She's like, I can see why you follow this guy. It was the Indiana Jones, really, it was.
He's a great costumer. I follow him, and he's a wonderful dude too. He's really nice. I love his stuff. Yeah. What's
your entertainment routine for sewing?
I usually like things quiet. I'm an awkward person, so I don't like going to movie theaters. It's something about the sound and the screen in front of me. Like a sensory issue. It feels like my insides are itchy. It just like inside is like, I'm gonna die right here. So I usually take a nap when I have to go. Dating people was horrible because I go sleep in the theater so I could survive. So I don't ever like really watch TV because it just bothers me. I'm just Forrest Gump, I guess. I can see why he sat on the side of the TV because I can do that better than I can actively engage in a screen and watch things. But I do turn on things for sound sometimes, call the midwife. I want to cry every hour while I'm sewing. Let's do this. And the tutors was a nice one. That one was not too like flashy and stuff, so I can pay attention. And Versailles, I miss them so much. It got canceled, and when I see pictures, I'm like, I miss you. Come back.
Who inspires you?
I was like, I have to think of someone amazing. My dad. My dad inspires me because I mentioned I'm from the reservation, and that's not really part of the international world or even like part of the United States. We have our own community, and it's a small town. And in my whole life, like I love it there. I love my family. I love the culture. I grew up dancing as a Native American, but I wanted to be part of the world. I wanted like museum life and stuff. And my dad, I don't know how he got it done, but he would drive us to like Chicago, or he would drive us to like Omaha or wherever we would catch Broadway musicals. He would take us. And being from that tiny small town, when I say village, it was like 300 people. My dad gave me the world. Like he literally made it so I never felt limited. Like when I was in college, I studied in Oxford, not at the university, but literally in Oxford at a college called Wycliffe Hall. It was medieval studies and stuff. So like there was never in my mind the idea that I don't belong in the entire world. So I went to Beirut, Lebanon to learn Arabic and stuff. So my dad is really, he inspires me, and he's so strong, and he's, I don't know, 50, 55, 56. I can drive around Fargo, North Dakota, and wherever I look, I can see a hospital, a healthcare center, a mall. My dad's an iron worker. So everyone's dads do their whatever jobs they do. When in 157 years, when my dad passes, I'm going to be able to drive around town and know that his hands are on the bones of our hospitals. Like he connected the beams that built everything in the Red River Valley. And we were standing on top of this building, and my dad was counting, and he got in the 3 directions we could see from the top of that building. He counted 37 buildings that he had done the iron on, and whose dad builds towns like that. So he's I guess he inspires me. He's my hero.
Oh, that's so beautiful. You posted about him the other day and I was
Yeah.
like,
I didn't
tearing
cry
up.
right now. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to answer that without crying.
I'm a little bit.
So, I mean, he's leaving his mark, and people don't know that. They don't know that he's the man that builds the things, the hospitals and stuff. So,
But you know,
yeah,
You
I
know.
do. And I'll always have like that, like convention centers and stuff. All of those, the iron, you can't build them without the beams coming together. And that person is my dad. So it keeps him young.
to capitalize on that theme, that inspiration theme, let's talk a little bit about gratitude. Who or what are you grateful for?
Of my kids. I know I couldn't think of anyone other than my children. They drive me insane, but they also keep me sane at the same time. My son, sometimes I can be a little whiny, like I'm so tired. I work overnight. I work 11 to 7, and I come home and I pack lunches and I get them to school. Or if the girls are home, I cook their lunch, and then I make dinner, and then I only sleep from 5:30 till 10. And sometimes I can be a little whiny, but my son, he's got, it's called sensory processing disorder, obviously, because I'm the same, but his is all to do with how senses feel to him while he's eating. So he's got an extremely limited diet. He doesn't want this. He will cry and say, Mom, when I'm a big man, I'm going to go to a restaurant with you, and we're going to have dinner, and I'm not going to cry, and we're going to order steak, and we're going to order pasta and stuff. He tries to eat. It never feels okay. So when I look at him and I'm like, every day is so hard for him. It's just like, he makes me grateful for everything, because he's such a sweet little boy. And it's heartbreaking to be the mother of a child that is healthy. He's so healthy. He's strong. He's growing. He's not vitamin deficient. He just can't eat anything. So he's the best.
That makes me also a little teary. I'll just be over here wiping that away.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. It's my family, my kids.
Mhm.
It's hard for me. It's totally hard to be whiny about it, but also know that every day for him is as hard as it, like he doesn't not want to live on Chips Ahoy chewy cookies, but some days it's like that.
Yeah. What is your favorite inspirational quote and who is it by?
I could say the entire inaugural poem by Amanda Gorman,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm going to focus on the last 3 lines, the ones before there's always light. If only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Those 3 lines spoke to my soul. I was like, yes, no matter what's going on, there's always light.
So if you could give new costumers one piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't be shy. Post in your stories. Someone will always answer you, no matter what your question is, no matter how insane you feel, or no matter what time of day it is. If you're stuck on something, post in your story. Someone will answer you, even if you only have like 12 followers. I don't know how it works, but someone will answer you. And also, when you start out and stuff, and there's like giveaways or there's like education stuff, and you have to tag people, and you're shy, you don't know anybody, you don't know who to tag me. I'll be your best friend. I will respond to that tag like we've known each other for 12 years.
Tag me. People tag me all the time. Do it. I don't mind at all.
When I started out, it was like tag 3 people. I don't know 3 people. My sister gave me her dog's account.
Aw.
Yeah, you
She's
can
like,
tag my cats.
just tag Loki. No one will ever know.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you need help, tag me, send me a message. I will find your help, and I will.
Yeah.
Same.
I never thought about that, but you're right. Like if you don't know people to tag. So yeah, you got 3 people to tag right here.
Yeah. When you start out, you don't know. Loki got a lot of tags.
We leave all of our information down below. Every single video has our information. Just go find it and go ahead and tag any of us. If you have a closing message of inclusion and equity that you would like to send out, we would love to make space for that.
I think that when you see these a beautiful Black, Indigenous people of color online, and you're just blown away, and you're like, wow, she's amazing, he's amazing. Look how smart, look how brilliant these people are. That's not just Instagram. That's the people you see on the street. That's the people, your coworkers. You can't just love us online and then not know us in the real world. So the support you extend to costumers or whoever it is on Instagram, don't leave it there. Bring it to work with you. you don't know how many times people will be your favorite coworker and you're someone like me, like Native, the only brown person in the room, and then they have a barbecue and you're the one that's not invited. Like, bring that love that you have of us online, bring it to your community. Like, we're awesome.
I love that. We are awesome, aren't we?
We are.
I mean, I think you're awesome, right? So I can agree with that. And I think that's a great message. To add to that, I also noticed, especially on Native TikTok or Native Instagram that I follow, a lot of people will follow and make comments and ask if it's okay to like wear certain things from Native American culture or dress up like certain things or listen to certain types of music or own like dream catchers. And just an extenuation of what Natalie just said, like liking their things is one thing, and that's nice, but really truly looking at them as human beings, because they are, and respecting them as human beings is an extenuation of liking their things. So make sure that you're not objectifying them like you would do with objects like dream catchers. Think about Native Americans, First Peoples as real people. And you've gotten to know, Natalie a bit today. So you can at least say one if you don't have any in your local community.
I will be everyone's best friend.
She really will. Like, I pinged her, and then there was an hour-long chat that ensued right after that. Also, if you're interested in other Native people, we do have an interview with my friend Ariane. She's also a Native American, if you'd like to learn about her style of costuming, which is completely different than Natalie's.
Hey, can't wait to meet her.
She's awesome.
All right. So thank you so much for joining us today, Natalie. It was great to get to know you a little bit better today.
Thank you for inviting me. I was so nervous, but this was amazing. Thank you. My son did that to me in the middle of his graduation today.
I can't do this. It looks like a butt. So I go this way, but I can't do that when I'm on camera. Because here's my butt for you. I love butt you.
Thank you.
And thank you also to our viewers for joining us today. We will leave a list of Natalie's information down below so you can follow her on all of her platforms.
Please do give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't. And if you have a costumer of color that you would think that we should interview, please use the form that we insert down below in the description box to let us know about them. Also, make sure to leave a little love for Natalie in the comments down below. Bye, guys.
Hi.